done for?
Hello, this is Sir Havoc, and this is a gameplay analysis by a subscriber, Search Warrant. Now, Search Warrant has been active on my forums and been participating, watching my videos, and he's, like me, very passionate about the Type 64. So he was kind enough to send a replay over for me to look at, and he asked if I wanted to, I can make a video. So I thought, why not? So let's start from here. As you can see, they started off with a 66% win chance. Now obviously that is not written in stone, but it goes a long way. If we're looking at the teams here, we can actually see that the team that Search Warrant is on actually does have some on average better players. As a really good artillery player, Search Warrant is not a bad player himself. The enemy team has a good artillery player as well, but on the enemy team there's some really well, what they call tomatoes, a lot of tomatoes. So it's looking like there could be a bit of a whitewash for these guys. So off we move with Search Warrant. Now Search Warrant moves, he has a strong game here, and this sort of game is quite typical of the Type 64. He moves forwards and he sits in a place normally where a heavy would sit. So this actually worked alright for him in this game. But I am playing lights. I would probably not necessarily recommend using this spot. Not because I don't think it's a good spot, because I think it's a fantastic spot for a little light to sit in. However, the heavies normally sit there, and it can be a really good spot for a heavy to peekaboo around. So by going there, it's possibly denying a heavy the chance of a good location to set up. So what I would say is just go into the game and see where the heavies are going. If no one seems to be using it, go there. It works quite well for Search Warrant in this game. Now this is gameplay analysis, but I'm not going to pick this to pieces. None of us are perfect. It's a strong game by Search Warrant. I will say one or two things I might have done differently. The first one's here. I would have tried to shoot the tracks off that KV-1S to stop him dead in his tracks, and so we could lay down more damage on him. So as you can see, there was a miss there, but the accuracy on this gun isn't great, so I don't think that was down to Search Warrant. I think that was just down to RNG. So Search Warrant's moving backwards and forwards here and using this quite well. Again, I would try to track that Chiri. Having a little pot gun like this means you can shoot one or two shots on the tracks and keep things tracked, and then the heavies can do the hard work. So it would have been difficult to get the tracks there, but I would have gone for it. Probably the only constructive criticism I can give on this so much is try to track stuff, because it really does get you points. My next pathway to Unicorn video, the art of, is going to be all about shooting the tracks off your enemy, how to do it, best way to do it, and some gameplay examples of when it's worked for me. So Search Warrant is quite rightly holding here. He's got some heavy tanks in front of him, and he's got a big lemming push round on the west side. Now he doesn't shoot this KV-1. I'm not too sure why. Perhaps it's because it would have forced the KV-1 to engage him, but he has got support from the Nash-on. Now I can see he used auto aim then. That's probably unnecessary, because it kind of cost him that last shot. If you're sat still, it's rare that you need to use auto aim really, not unless you're going to do a bit of peekabooing and you want to use it for just quick aim. I would have gone for the tracks on that T21 for definite. Probably a track shot on the KV-1, because that KV-1 does well in this game. Again, a little bit of a dodgy choice using the auto aim there, because he was on a hill. Sometimes you can just see the turret, but auto aim shoots for the middle of the tank, so you might often find it that you auto aim onto the turret, but then the shots go into the ground, so just be a bit careful of that. falling off and damaging the tracks on these tanks, you know, it does happen. It happens to me. You've only got to catch them little hills wrong. Now, as you can see, the team that Search Warrant's on is doing really well. It's 10-6. The game's in the bag now, and this is about mopping up and getting as much damage as possible. So what Search Warrant's done really well here is he's done some good shooting. He's got into a good location. He's done some spotting, and he's made some good damage. And he's stayed alive. He's remained alive, so at the end of the game he's able to go forward and get some damage. So he's on 1100 now.
Penetration.
Good shooting for the machine gun turret and the viewport there.
Enemy is hit.
So he's bagged himself another 300 damage here, just by staying alive. And that's great. So that's the replay over. Let's move on to the post-game stats. So here we are in the post-game stats. As you can see, this is a premium tank, and because of that, Search Warrant made 48,822 credits, and he got himself 1,000 experience. Got the Confederate medal and a second-class tanker medal. So he done 1460 damage, which got him an experience of 680. He made 14 direct hits, of which 13 penetrated. He fired 20 shots, so 6 were misses. He only got hit the once, and that was a penetration, so he managed to evade getting hit, which is really good. He damaged 6 vehicles and destroyed none. So, like I say, this is a solid game by Search Warrant. It's a typical sort of game you might play in a Type 64. It's so versatile, this tank, that you can sit back. You've got the speed to move forward. He could have gone down and around at any time he wanted to. It's a really nice little tank. So that's the first gameplay review of Search Warrant. It'll be interesting to get some more games of him and just see how well he does and how well he progresses in this game, and how well he's doing with his Type 64 and other tanks. Now, Search Warrant has sent me another replay of a KV-220, so sometime when I get a bit extra second, I'll put that up for you guys. And that's all for this one. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.